Hello, everyone, and welcome to the second podcast of the second half of season 11. We're talking about Underneath It All, part 2. One thing before I start, I forgot to mention Fiona's hair in the last podcast, and I definitely like her new look now. I think she looks great. You know, it's a new year. You know, reminds me sort of Paige, you know, with her new year, new look, new Paige. We got to see Bianca. She wasn't in Mondays. You know, I still laugh whenever she gives advice to someone about relationships or sex or whatever, like she was to Jake, because we all know what she's like and what she's done. She kind of has changed, but, you know, still, it would have been better to, you know, maybe have someone else get the message. As for the Tori, Maya, and Zig stuff, kind of annoyed me this episode. I wasn't really a fan of, you know, another triangle, or specifically that triangle. The one thing I do like is, you know, Tori, I mean, if you just barely squint your eyes, you know, and look at the TV, it's almost like, oh, Cassie Steele, Manny, you know, and Alex kind of sounds like, you know, Cassie in a way too. So, I mean, that is a cool thing. And, you know, it is cool seeing her. And just like when she was talking to Mr. Simpson with Maya, I just kept thinking, like, Mr. Simpson, you already know her. It's Angie. I was hoping for some sort of, like, hidden inside joke about Angie to be brought up. I don't know, someone walking down the hall and it's like, oh, hey, Angie, and Tori turns around and she's like, I'm Tori. I mean, I guess that's too out there, that's too blunt, but I mean, something like that with, like, a subtle, you know, reference that, you know, she played a character in the past. I don't know, maybe they will do it at some point, but I think that'd be, you know, kind of funny and kind of cool to see something like that. The one thing that kind of confused me or puzzled me was that Simpson thought Imogen acted alone, and I know Fiona brought it up when Fiona, Marisol, and Katie had the meeting, but I don't understand why Simpson wouldn't, you know, kind of try and pry more about it, or, you know, go on the PA and announce, I'm going to take away your senior prom if you don't tell me who did this, or, you know, something like that. Maybe he assumed that, you know, eventually the people would come forth. The one line, though, going back to the Tori, Maya, and Zig stuff that I did like was from Zig when he told Maya about Tori that him and Tori dated nearly a month, and that is very realistic, and that's very funny because, you know, in junior high or even high school, people consider a relationship that lasts a month to be extraordinary, you know, something unheard of. I mean, a month is like equivalent to like a year in adult dating. So I mean, that was a fun line. You know, and then we had this stuff with Claire and Jake. You know, are they gonna have sex? Are they not gonna have sex? You know, coming into this episode, I did not think that they were going to, and of course they didn't. I don't know. I don't know if it's because the writers, like, don't want to push that boundary. Even fans of the show who thought that storyline was a little weird and, you know, strange, and I know some people really like it. You know, people are on both sides of the fence here. Something interesting for the show, I thought, would be that if Jake and Claire had sex and then they eventually break up, and then Claire gets back together with Eli, and she doesn't tell Eli that, you know, her and Jake had sex, so Eli goes through all this trouble, you know, to plan this special first time, and he, you know, does all this good stuff, and then he finds out that, you know, Claire wasn't a virgin, then he gets upset, and I thought something like that would be, you know, good for the show. As for the ending of the episode, the revenge ending, I was not expecting, you know, Fiona and Imogen to plan some sort of revenge. I'm hoping that it's something that goes terribly wrong and ends, you know, something tragic. But, I mean, not like a death or anything, but, you know, just something that's not, you know, as typical or, you know, silly as the tinfoiling the calf, but I mean something, you know, that's really good. And I liked how Fiona said they have all year to plan it. I hope it's kind of like they reference it throughout, you know, a lot of these episodes, and like they might mention it 1 week and then not again for 2 weeks and then not again for 3 weeks, and, you know, it eventually happens towards the end of the season, you know, a callback to something that happened in the beginning. So I don't know if it's going to happen, you know, right away, or if they're going to delay it. but that has some, interesting potential. And then about the ending, I hate how things are so rushed right now on Teen Nick. I'm assuming it's because on top of the commercials right now, they're also showing a mini, which is 2+ minutes, and at the end of the episode, they're running the credits, and you can't even see half the screen, and then the preview for the next episode is 10 minutes into another show that I particularly don't care about. So hopefully after this mini business is done, it will go back to how, always has been for a decade. And a quick note on the mini, I liked Imogen hanging, from the rock climbing thing, and Owen was in it, and Jenna was in it. They had a lot of characters, and the minis are always fun, and I do like the minis so far. And I still can't wait to see Lauren Collins, even if it is just for a minute in a mini. It's great that, Lauren Collins as Paige, that she took the time out to do this and, participate in something when obviously she has no, obligation to do so at all. So it's great that, she took the time out to do it, and that the writers and everyone still are trying to somehow involve classic characters into the show. And that wraps it up. We've had 2 episodes this week after nothing for months. So we all have to, take the weekend and all next week to digest these first 2 episodes and the promo that is airing tonight, the minis, take everything, let it all sink in, and we'll come back a week from now with another new episode. Thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will talk to you all soon.